Good afternoon, everybody. Welcome to the Trinity House for the second of our two press conferences today. It gives me great pleasure to welcome Team Sturm, middleweight great FELIX STURM, and head of UFA Sports, Carsten Malheim as well. We had a great time in Stuttgart yesterday. Thank you for your hospitality. And of course, to my right, the current IBF middleweight champion, Darren Barker, and his trainer, Tony Sims. As you know, Darren picked up the IBF middleweight title on August the 17th in Atlantic City, that wonderful night that we all remember. And we had an obligation with the IBF to fulfil our mandatory, which was FELIX STURM. It must be said, a mandatory that we were delighted with. We would have probably offered it to them as a voluntary as well. Carsten will tell you, Barker Sturm is a fight that I've personally been trying to make now for probably a couple of years. And so we're delighted to make it happen. Obviously, there's no secret about the huge interest and TV revenue that FELIX STURM brings in Germany. It was always our intention to have Darren Barker's first defence in London and the UK. But we also appreciated that FELIX had other options that we knew they were exploring. And it was a fight we didn't want to lose. We feel that from a legacy and even from a financial perspective, this is the right fight for Darren Barker. So Carsten and I engaged in some interesting negotiations, and they come up with a deal that included many things that we desired, and it was fulfilled in every way. So I'm delighted to provide this opportunity for Darren Barker. We sat down, we spoke with Darren and Tony Sims, and we felt that this was the right opportunity for us. And I'd just like to say that, as far as I'm concerned, it's not all about defending your world title at home in relatively easy fights. Darren Barker travelled to Atlantic City and gave Sergio Martinez a great fight. Darren Barker went to America and won the world title, and now Darren Barker is going to go to Germany and challenge FELIX STURM. And that's what I call a real fighter. That's how you create a legacy for yourself. And there will be big home defences. And we believe Darren Barker is going to win this fight. Of course, FELIX has other ideas. But it's going to be a wonderful fight. We're delighted to be working, as I said, with UFA and Sat1. Of course, the fight will be live here on Sky Sports in the UK. And already, we've sold hundreds of tickets to UK fans, and we expect to take well over 1,000 fans to Stuttgart on December the 7th. It's going to be a wonderful atmosphere, and we're delighted to make this fight happen. I'm delighted to introduce the head of UFA Sports, who will in turn speak and introduce his fighter, Carsten Malheim.
Thank you, Eddie. Good afternoon, gentlemen. I can't see any women here today, so good afternoon, gentlemen. It's great to be here in London. Thanks to Eddie and your team for organizing this press conference. I think it's the right thing to do. It's a great fight we're looking forward to, and I think for such great fights, you also should organize the second press conference in the opponent's team country. Stormbox Promotion and Matchroom Boxing are very delighted to present two fighters in its prime, to present on December 7th in Stuttgart in the Porsche Arena, two fighters who will challenge and who will fight for the IBF World Championship. And with this time for us, with the champion Darren Barker and with the challenger, this guy's FELIX STURM. Let me congratulate one more time to Darren for winning the championship in Atlantic City. I think it was a fantastic fight, which he has deserved to win. We heard about some strange kind of appeals of Team Gale afterwards, which all for me would have been fully rightfully declined. And I think Darren has the right to sit here. He's the true champion, and he has deserved to be the champion. And from our side, we are very, very happy to promote another England-German battle, which will take place in Germany. Speaking about England-German battles, I know your fellow countryman Gary Lineker, we always like his saying, and I think for those of ones who don't know, he has said something with when Germany and England meet, it's always the Germans who win in the end. And I have no doubt that this will be the same here in boxing. We clearly preferred the matchup against Darren in comparison to, I mean, we were the mandatory challenger, and we clearly preferred to have Darren as the opponent in exchange of Daniel Gio. Because simply, as Eddie also said, Darren is a good name. Germany, England is always good for TV sales. It's good for tickets. And from that respect, we are looking really forward to a fantastic fight. And I think the ingredients for this fight can't be any better. Eddie and I, as he said also before, we have been actually in touch. And I was thinking of when he was calling me the first time, I think it's about 2 years, and we were always trying to get a fight together between Felix and Darren. Sometimes in boxing, you all know, it was maybe not the right time. Now it is the right time, and in particular with the prerequisites of Darren's first defensive of his newly gained title in the US, and Felix having the chance. And personally, I think on our whole team, I mean, basically, it's not only the chance. Felix will clinch the next, or his 4th World Championship title, and that would be actually the first time that a German fighter has the chance or will achieve 4th World Championship title. We're expecting Darren to be in his best shape, and we have seen him, we saw him, he has great skills. I mean, he has fought with a lot of heart, and he has actually really comeback skills. That's something what we like and what I personally appreciated, or what I personally really liked in particular your last fight. But you can also expect to meet a FELIX STURM in his absolutely prime. Felix knows exactly what is at stake, and building up a legacy of being the first German fighter who has the chance to win a world champion title for the 4th time. That's already motivation enough. I'm responsible for the marketing and sales also of the event, so let me allow some words of the actual results with respect to marketing and ticket sales. Porsche Arena in Stuttgart holds close to 9,000 seats, and we have pre-orders before we were going online of 3,000 tickets. This is the highest number we have ever achieved. The fight will be broadcasted on free TV in Germany. It's Sat.1, our free TV partner, and in the UK on Sky. But if any one of you doesn't have the chance to be in Germany to watch the fight live, or to watch it on German or English TV, you will have, and you maybe happen to be in whatever, Norway, China, Australia, the Americas, and Middle East, you will have the chance to see this fight live. Yeah, that's basically what I would like to say from my end, and yeah, I would like to introduce you to Germany's greatest fighter, Germany's most successful fighter, FELIX STURM.
Oh, good to be here, good to be back in the UK. I have very, very good memories of England. I won my first big trophy as an amateur in 1997 here. It was always my goal, my biggest goal, to fight the best fighters at the middleweight. And Darren BARKER, of course, now is the world champion, and now is one of the top fighters in the middleweight. He shows a great, great fun fight against Daniel Gio. He shows a lot of heart, especially when he goes down in the round 6 or 7? 6. It was an incredible fight, and it was really, really impressive. And I think the fight a day later, and I couldn't believe that they tell me Daniel Gil believes, because I lost my first fight against Daniel Gil, but no, Darren BARKER is here. Darren BARKER is a better fighter than Daniel Gil. That means for me the motivation is bigger. That means for me I have to be in better shape than ever before, better than in the fight against Oscar De La Hoya. Now, what Carsten said, I have the opportunity to become the first German four-time world champion, to build up my own legacy, to be one of the greatest champions ever, and I believe with Darren BARKER, in the fight against Darren Barker, I can show I'm one of the best, because Darren Barker is also a great fighter, really great fighter. And when two great fighters meet in the ring on December 7th, there can be only one thing: we will have a great fight. One of my role models, and I'm very happy that he's here today, is Joe Katsagi, one of the greatest, for me, the greatest British fighter ever. I know if you become a world champion, you want to be, or somebody, everybody want to be like Joe Katsagi, a great champion who fights the best, who beats the best, who was the world champion in two different weight classes. And I think for Darren Barker this is also a big motivation, and that's making him so dangerous. But I will be prepared, I will be in the best shape of my life, and I'm following to meet Darren Barker on December 7th. And after today, thank you very much to Team Barker, thank you very much to Eddie Hearns for his hospitality, for this great event today. And it's nice here in London. I like London. I have a good friend of mine, Lucas. He lives here in London and plays for Arsenal. And in the future, I will be 1 or 2 times more in London. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Felix. Thank you, Carson. It's quite unusual for a fighter to stay with his trainer from his amateur days to what will definitely be, the end of his career. And Tony Sims deserves a huge amount of credit for everything he's done with Darren Barker. And I'd like him to come up to say a few words and introduce Darren Barker.
In German, so. Yeah. I can only talk German. Yeah, we had a good press conference yesterday in Germany, and from the feeling over there, it's going to be a great event. We had a look around the Porsche Arena. It's a fantastic arena, and tactically, we've been looking at Felix Sturm for a little while since the Daniel Gill fight, because obviously we knew he was a mandatory. So he's a great fighter, he's been a great fighter for a long time as well. But Darren's a new IBF champion, new world champion, and I think when a fighter wins a title, like a world title, the confidence that comes with that, it takes them to another level. And I think it'll be a great fight, but I think Darren will just be the better fighter on the night. We're looking forward to going to Germany. A lot of people have said, why are you going to Germany to defend the title? But we've got no concern about going over there. We've got great confidence in the IBF officials. In America, the IBF officials, it was a close fight, and they give it to Darren deservedly. And we've got great confidence in going to Germany. Darren's already been in training for this fight for the last few weeks now. Everything's going to plan. His weight's smack on at the moment, and as I say, we were looking forward to a good fight. I believe Darren's the better fighter, especially at this time, with both of their careers at this time, and I think Darren will come away with a belt. And thank you very much for that. Thank you.
Thanks, Tony. And then to wrap it up, before some head-to-head photos and one-on-ones, I'd like to welcome your IBF middleweight champion, Darren Barker.
Got to say, I'm impressed with your English. He speaks better English than me. Yeah, proud to be standing here in front of you all as the IBF World Champion. It's an honour. Extremely, really looking forward to the fight. Like Eddie said, Tony said, sorry, I had a chance to walk around the arena, and it's fantastic. It's going to be a great atmosphere. We're going to take a few out there. There's my cousin at the back there, and then I think he's rounding up the troops. And if 500 go, they're going to sound like 2,000. So they're going to make some racket. So it was people asking like, what are you going to Germany for? You're mad, you're mad. But it was as if someone said, look, here's the winning lottery ticket. do you want to buy it for £1? I mean, it was a no-brainer. It was the deal was that good. But aside from that, I'm extremely confident of winning. You know, I respect Felix as a champion, former champion. You know, great fighter with, you know, tons and tons of experience. But he hasn't experienced Darren Barker yet. You know, I'm confident. Like Eddie said, you know, the confidence that comes from winning the title is massive. You know, I've always believed in my own ability, but you can't gauge how well you are until you actually pick up the greatest prize of all, which I've managed to do. So, looking forward to the fight. Training's is going well. We'll only go better. Body's holding up, so you can all, you know, rest assured I'll be in the ring on the 7th, and I can 100% guarantee I will be, you know, leaving Germany still champion. You know, I'm a proud owner of that belt, and I look forward to a long reign as world middleweight champion. Thank you.
Okay guys, before the photo, going to go to the floor. Any questions, please?
Darren, you said it was a really good deal. How much is it about the money and how much about the legacy?
It's both. It is both. I can honestly say that. At the end of the day, it's my job. I've got a young daughter, a fiance that spends money like it's going out of fashion. So I'll be lying, you know, if money didn't play a big factor. Put it this way, I wouldn't go to Germany for £20, but for the money I'm getting, I will go. But it's more than that. It is about securing some sort of legacy. I know it's early in my reign as champion and my first defence, but I'm confident of winning the fight. You know, I've experienced travelling away. I won the title away. I've boxed in hostile countries as an amateur. And once that bell goes, and you know the hundreds or thousands of Brits that are singing, it won't feel like I'm in Germany. So, you know, it all weighed up, and beating a former great like Felix helps secure some sort of legacy.
Eddie, there's been controversy in this country as well as Germany and America by officials very recently. Are you going to negotiate all neutral officials, just leave it to the IBF?
No, the part of the agreement with, you know, I'm not one to go into pages of the agreement, but part of the agreement with Carsten and Ufa and Felix was for neutral officials appointed by the IBF. That's quite standard, to be honest with you, in mandatory fights. But obviously it's important to us. You know, people have got to remember as well, FELIX STURM lost 2 very close fights to Daniel Gill and to Sam Solomon recently, where, you know, you talk about hometown decisions. They're fights that really he could have won, you know, and they were given to the opposites. And like Tony says, we've got full respect and trust in the IBF. The officials are no real concern. They will be neutral. But you know, I think it's people forget about, you know, people talk about the Matthew Macklin fight. I felt that was, I felt personally that Macklin edged that fight, but I also felt that Felix edged the Martin Murray fight, and that was given a draw. So when you actually look across, you know, the last 5 or 6 fights, there hasn't really been a huge amount of controversy, and we're comfortable. You know, we're comfortable with Team Sturm, we're comfortable with the IBF. And you know, we don't see that being a factor at all. And to be honest with you, there's so much focus now on, you know, the judges that, you know, I think they're all under pressure to be at their best. You know, and Quigg Salinas at the weekend, I felt Quigg won by 2 rounds and it was given a draw, and that was in his home patch. So, you know, I don't think that's going to play a huge factor. But in answer to your original question, yes, they will be neutral officials appointed by the IBF.
And you do have a return clause?
Yeah, again, you know, people talk about, you know, the return fight in London, and you know, is that a weakness from Darren Barker? I don't think Darren Barker even really knew about that. That's my job as a promoter, to cover all bases. And listen, you know, a fight in Germany, a fight in the UK for number 2 is a huge, huge fight. So Felix will be hoping to win the fight in Germany and then do it all over again in London. Darren Barker expects 1 fight. But again, you know, I'm just doing my job as a promoter to make sure that, you know, we've got all bases covered. But both fighters believe that they're going to win the fight, and Darren is expecting just 1 fight.
How is he speaking English so fluently?
In the school? No.
You didn't go to my school then?
No, in the time I was 5 weeks before the fight against Oscar, and then I learned the most English. But my English was not the best in the school. In boxing, I learned English. But I think it's okay to order to pay my bill, and I'm fine.
Tell me, what would Darren be training? Will he be training over here, or will you be taking the crew?
Yeah, he'll be training over here at my gym in Essex. We're bringing in good sparring for him. He's going to spar with Cole Frost, who's one of the sparring partners. Cole's getting ready for Groves. And I think we're going to use like Anthony Gogo. So we're going to bring in a couple of good sparring partners.
Okay guys? Okay, we're going to try and move this and have a photo in the middle, and then both guys are available for one-on-one.